Get ready to be creeped out on a whole new level. No bloody messes or severed limbs this time. No eldritch horror that will make your blood freeze. But more of an unsettling feeling that will make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The Uncanny Valley is a special kind of creepy. It's where you arrive when fake people, be it robots or animations, become more and more realistic, but not realistic enough. Or unrealistic, but not unrealistic enough. It can range from creepy China dolls to high-tech aesthetic failures. In video games, we have plenty of cases of the Uncanny Valley. Sometimes hilariously by accident, and sometimes masterfully on purpose. Prepare to get your Jimmies rustled. Here's 10 times games entered the Uncanny Valley.
Today's video is brought to you by NordVPN. Use the link in the description and save 70% off a 3-year plan. Switch to NordVPN to protect yourself today.
You've just survived.
Half-Life is full of gross alien monsters, but the creature that must instill the most uneasy feeling in players can't be any other than the G-Man. He can be seen multiple times during the game, just hanging around in the distance, as if keeping an eye on things. And it is never clear what his true objective is as he meddles in Gordon Freeman's affairs. We can only say that it seems he works for some interdimensional mega-corporation. G-Man is not only uncanny because of his appearance, but especially because of his speech.
If and when your time comes round again.
Slowing down randomly sometimes, or using weird intonation without emotion.
And I remain confident.
As if he's not fully human, after all.
I have learned to ignore such naysayers.
Bioshock's splicers are creepy monsters, but they are so creepy they can be killed with impunity. Like zombies. Who cares about zombies, right? But Bioshock's little sisters are a different story. These little girls were created on purpose by an evil mastermind to harvest mutational juice from corpses. Not a chill job for a little girl. These little sisters are not as unforgivably creepy as the splicers, yet not really human either. The designers did this very well because they give the players the choice to harvest the little girls for their mutation juice or save them, with these little ladies being cute enough to feel bad for killing them, but creepy enough to destroy anyway. Bioshock is an uncanny roller coaster sometimes. In Bioshock 2, the player actually teams up with the little sisters, and they are designed to noticeably be a little less creepy in the sequel.
Elise, you should go back to the castle.
Okay.
Now for a character that wouldn't look too uncanny if she appeared on her own. But unfortunately, Princess Elise from Sonic 2006 appeared in the wrong game, at the wrong time, in the wrong art style. She only appears in the story to be rescued by Sonic multiple times. And despite Sonic being an arrogant hedgehog, a romance develops. This relationship between a woman and a giant blue hedgehog can only be described in words that aren't allowed on YouTube. Sonic and Elise would be totally fine if they weren't together, as Elise's character model has way more detail than Sonic's. Even the color palette and shades are different. It feels like she fell into a strange dimension with different rules and is kept against her will by a blue demon with one huge eye that has 2 pupils. And where are his tear ducts? Anyway, they did this way better in Sonic Unleashed, where the human characters at least look as cartoony as the animals.
Hey! What about your memories?
can be so uncanny about Gran Turismo? The fact that the cars have sounded like dustbusters for most of the series, or the stupid night car? No, Gran Turismo is a car game, and that was proven in Gran Turismo 5 when they tried their hand at some character animation.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon, professional NASCAR driver.
To introduce players to the ins and outs of oval racing, Polyphony brought in NASCAR legend Jeff Gordon. But they forgot his soul,
Enough with the talking.
making him Zombie Jeff Gordon.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon.
In a game where you normally don't see people, it's extra uncanny. As if Polyphony was able to bring cars to life, but make poor Jeff undead.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Michelle, but your mother is dead.
Dun dun dun!
LA Noire is undoubtedly a milestone in facial animation, wrapping into a detective story where the player has to determine whether or not a suspect is lying. This was a powerful feature.
You're feeling guilty about this, Michelle. What were you up to that you missed your mother?
But we always had this strange feeling while judging the facial expressions of the subjects. Because clearly you could see that the subject is acting. But is it the acting of the fictional suspect we're seeing through? Or is it that the motion capture actor just isn't that good of an actor? Kind of a mind fudge. So the facial animation is very good in general. But if you wait too long, the animations will loop. And then you realize that this digital being in front of you is deliberately pretending to be sentient. Just to play with your feelings.
I know this is a tough time for you, Michelle, but you should really try and help the police.
Look at those graphics and animations. Looks good for a mid-90s game, right? Now realize that this game is from 2008. It's a game that's kind of underground famous for how many assets it flipped. But what makes Limbo of the Lost really stand out is that the monsters look less scary than our hero Benjamin Spooner Briggs. This gross zombie seems to be more alive than the glassy-eyed protagonist. The appearance of this dude is just a part of the creepy experience. The fact he seems totally disconnected from his environment that consists of assets stolen from other games in most scenes makes it an even more eldritch experience. As if he's caught between dimensions. Limbo, indeed. The Halo series is pretty hardcore, but there's many Easter eggs to be found while space marining. If you ever really go off the beaten path in Halo 3, you will encounter the sickest monster from the entire series, with quite a funny backstory. With a bit of luck and some serious bushwhacking, you can find monkey men in the dark corners of the map. They sit motionless, without expression, while a future war is waged just around the corner. They want for nothing. They can bleed, but they can't die. And that face. That's the face of Halo's art director Marcus Letho.
Dun dun dun!
This whole monkey or caveman thing started out as an inside joke over email. With Agora Letho, we think it's more creepy than cute. What do you think?
If at first you don't succeed, you fail, and the test will be terminated.
GLaDOS is another lady with a lovely voice. In the Portal series, it's she that guides you through the deadly puzzles.
Well, you found me. Congratulations.
But contrary to what her soothing voice suggests, she's not really out to help you, as you start to suspect from her continuous passive-aggressive remarks. Not only does GLaDOS sound like a sweet lady, her comparatively delicate robotic form dangling from a massive structure emphasizes both her unstoppable side and her soft side. At one point, as a player, you realize this AI is very powerful, And that's the moment you inadvertently destroy her morality code and she flips the script on you. This time with a voice more human, but way deadlier than before.
Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin.
SpiderMan for PS4 was clearly one of the most immersive gaming experiences of 2018. Great villains, visceral web-slinging gameplay, and a fast-action fighting system that allows you to beat up multiple crooks with ultimate grace and power. In general, this game is filled with amazing detail that sucks you into the world. It's excellently designed, and the uncanny part we're going to highlight now is actually part of effective game design. When you approach the boats on the water that are normally not reachable and go into the photo mode, you enter a silent dimension of creepy. The sailors look as if the skin of their faces is stretched over a plowshare. No Cenobite could make this kind of suffering up. Especially in the complete still of the photo mode, these creatures look uncanny, but them looking like this makes total sense. After all, it's very unlikely a player will ever see them up close, so why waste the polygons? One of the most mind-bending moments in gaming history, not just in the Uncanny Valley visually, but even more so existentially. Metal Gear Solid 2, beneath all the amazing gameplay and world building, is a story about post-modernity and identity in an increasingly digital age, where the identity of humanity is under threat of being washed away, like tears in a rainstorm of data. Keep in mind, this moment takes place some 10 hours into the game, which you will have played through in one session, of course. So you're sketchy to begin with. And then the Colonel, who has been your mentor for the entire game, starts to glitch out. Making weird references and even wanting you to turn off the console. Not only is the subtle glitching done masterfully, you also realize the Colonel has been turning on you slowly the entire game, retroactively creeping you out. Near the end, it is revealed by the AI that everything you thought was true is just a meaningless swirl in the maelstrom of an inevitable postmodern paradigm shift, and you never had a choice in a new world without truth that is a terrifyingly accurate foreshadowing of our present situation. It's an uncanny existential horror that has to be one of the most intense experiences ever created in media. Games are art, people. Games are philosophy. That's it for our 10 most uncanny moments in gaming. What moment has rustled your jimmies the most? Let us know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. See you next upload.